well, the wait wasn't too long. I felt like doing another one right after finishing part 49, so here it is, part 50. And you know, this game really isn't that friendly to Let's Plays. I mean, I can't commentate everything that's going on. Like, imagine if I did this for this match. Okay, so now I'm going to use Psychic on Grimer because it's super effective, and it dies, and I get 558 experience points. Oh, Electro gonna bring Venusaur since it's gonna need all the experience it can get so it doesn't fall behind, and oh god, this is boring me already! At least I got something else to say in the meantime, because imagine if baseball commentators were commentating on what happened on the screen all the time. Like, okay, Dempster scratches his crotch. Dempster is spitting on the ground. Now he's doing signs to the catcher. Scratches his crotch again. Now the catcher is doing signs. And Dempster spits on the ground again. Extreme close-up of Dempster's face where you can see him chew his gum. And if you have an HD TV, you can even see the sweat drops on his face. And he grabs his crotch again. And so does the catcher. This might be a series of signs, actually. Your Major League Baseball dollars at work, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, is he gonna pitch? Is he gonna pitch? No, he's just scratching his crotch again. See? Imagine if baseball were this boring to watch. At least they've got an avalanche of statistics that they can show to the audience in the hour it takes between two pitches. And in my case, at least Pokémon is deep enough that I can talk about it while playing, while not saying exactly what happens on the screen all the time. And yeah, I'm actually glad of what I did with that Let's Play. I turned it into sort of an outlet for ranting. I mean, before then I do written rants, but now I'm just doing this Let's Play and ranting in the meantime when nothing's happening, which is pretty much all the time, because really the only battles of interest are the major battles, and these I don't half-ass. I'm going in depth in describing what I'm trying to do to take down each Pokemon. But random trainer battles like this, there's nothing happening. Type advantage, 15 level advantage, boring! By the way, during my little baseball interview, you may have noticed that I finally got rid of Poison Powder on Venusaur and gave it Growth instead. The reason being that, well, Poison Powder sucks, always did, and probably always will. Whereas Growth, back then, it increased Special by 1 level. Now this is identical in all points to the Calm Mind we know now. So Calm Mind isn't a bad move. Absolutely not, especially not with Venusaur's great special. So new school Calm Mind, old school Growth, that's actually pretty good. I don't know if I'll actually use it even once, but at least it's better than freaking Poison Powder. Now, as promised, I'm going to go back to the underused overhaul that's going on right now. And, well, one thing I forgot to mention is really what kind of Pokemon were being brought down to the underused tier. You got stuff like Venusaur and Weezing. Yeah, Weezing, one of the most dominant walls in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald in the 3rd generation, and now they were bringing it back down to underused. Now you might say that Claydol was also one effective wall back in the 3rd generation, and it was swiftly brought down to the underused tier in this generation, but I say it never had any business there to begin with, since it was one of the dominant forces before Steelix was brought down. But I was actually talking about Weezing and how ridiculous it was that it was being downgraded. Well, just about everyone knew it was ridiculous when it happened, and the last few doubters, well, Aerodactyl made them stop doubting, and soon everyone knew that the definition of underused was absolute bullshit. But at least they heeded the message and they're starting over. And interestingly enough, they're apparently paying attention to not fully evolved forms. I don't know if it's just the one that would be relevant in underused because their evolutions are borderline or overused. Like, for example, Snover and Hippopotas, who would be the only perma-weather guys eligible in underused because, well, they're not fully evolved. Though, of course, being not fully evolved means nothing in a day and age where Porygon 2 might break into the top tier any month now. But, as I said, they're paying more attention to those not fully evolved Pokemon. But I'm wondering if it's just those that are relevant because they're absolutely unique, like I said, Snover and Hippopotas, or if it's every single one under the sun. Like, could we be seeing the return of Gligar in underused? If you remember, Gligar in underused was absolutely dominant in the 3rd generation. Actually, I didn't play it back then, the underused metagame, I mean, but I'm only going by hearsay, and that hearsay is just about unanimous. Gligar kicked ass. Heck, right now, we have Vanilla Rotom in underused, who's doing very well right now, but one thing that I'm not too sure on is that technically Vanilla Rotom now is not fully evolved compared to its alternate forms. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Rotom evolves into those alternate forms. I'm just saying that the behavior when it comes to comparing the regular form with the alternate forms, well, it's sort of the same thing. There's improvement in every aspect, well, except speed, but then again there are several Pokemon that lose points in a certain stat when they evolve. Murkrow and Magneton are the most commonly cited examples. But what I'm trying to say is that from a purely competitive standpoint, Rotom's regular form behaves like a not fully evolved Pokemon. Just like Fiona, in fact, it behaves like a pre-evolution to Manaphy, even if it's not actually a pre-evolution to Manaphy. So, one could say, were we already paying attention to one not fully evolved Pokemon in Rotom's regular form, since it does so well in underused? And if that's the case, then why not bring Gligar out of the mothballs too? Now, one last thing. I'm curious how Steelix and Bibarel will be helped by Curse, actually. Hey, this is the last floor! And this is the last rocket before I actually go and fight Blue. But yeah, I'm wondering how Steelix and Bibarel will react to this new acquisition. Steelix, I think we've already established this, is the cause of what's going on right now. It never had any business in underused, and Curse just sounds really sexy on it, and so I really don't think we'll be seeing it in underused anymore. As for Bibarel, Curse and Simple put together, well, it's really appealing. I mean, sure, it's no Curse lax. Well, it's not a secret, but it sounds like it could be effective enough to, I'm not sure break underused, but to be quite a dominant force there if it ever remains in underused. Now that's enough for the whole underused thing. I just hope that the test goes well and that the metagame that emerges is enjoyable, because that's, of course, the primary goal. Now, after this rocket is beaten, I'm going to run to the elevator and then I'm going to stop there, because really, I don't remember which warp tile leads to Blue. And there are a lot of warp tiles. I haven't counted them, but it's probably close to 100. So I'm not gonna check them all out. Of course not. I'm just going to go the easy way, check on the internet, and head straight there at the beginning of the next video. And I hope you'll be around for the next video. Don't bail out on me just when things start getting exciting, huh?